welcome back to Riffs and Rides. This is Barry, and today I'm going to be doing another song that I love. So this isn't really a reaction as much as it is just me sharing some music that I really love. This is Van Halen, and if you've watched any of my videos, you probably have heard me say that my favorite four bands of all time are Van Halen, Kiss, Led Zeppelin, and Rush. And those are in really just no particular order. It just depends on the day you ask me. So is Van Halen my favorite band? Absolutely. Today they are for sure. You know, Eddie Van Halen was... he was the greatest. I mean, the greatest rock and roll guitarist of all time. People will debate that. They'll say, no, Jimmy Page was, or no, Stevie Ray Vaughan was. And yes, they were too. They were. I mean, just different kinds of music. I think when we talk about guitar players, you have guitars that actually changed the whole genre. You know, it was kind of like, for example, like when Elvis came out in '56, was there already kind of rock and roll? Yeah, maybe, you know, but he really brought the attention to it. So that's why he's the king of rock and roll, you know. So then you had the Beatles that came out and changed everything. You know, they turned the world upside down with their music. But as far as guitar players, now in my mind, the first guitarist that came out and just kind of changed things up was probably Jimi Hendrix. You know, he did things that nobody else had ever heard anybody do on the guitar. And that's kind of how I see Eddie Van Halen. When the first Van Halen came out in 1978, it sent a lot of guitar players scrambling. They could not figure out what the hell he was doing, you know. And I'm not just talking about the tapping and stuff. I mean, he was just an overall excellent guitarist. It reminds me of a story a story that Alex Van Halen talks about, how on a Saturday night or a weekend night, Alex would be getting dressed and going out and partying. And he said that, you know, Eddie would grab a 6-pack of beer and sit on his bed and play guitar. And when Alex would come back in from partying, Eddie would still be sitting on his bed playing guitar. So, you know, that's what Eddie was. He was the guitar. And so this album, Mean Street, I think it came out, don't hold me to this, I think 1981. It was the album that came out right after Women and Children. So I believe it was 81. This is probably my favorite Van Halen album. And it's one of those albums that probably gets the least amount of airplay. And I hear a lot of people when they talk about this album, they say it's the darkest Van Halen album. And maybe it is, but it's great. So the song we're going to listen to right now is called Mean Street. And this is the first song on the album. Now, just imagine you put this thing on for the very first time. You've never heard this. And listen to what the guitarist's doing just straight out of the gate. I mean, what the hell? I mean, you'll hear exactly what I'm talking about. If I were a guitarist and I heard this in 1981, there's just no way to know. Now with videos, we can see what he did. But back then, you couldn't. So let's go. Here we go. Mean Street. What the hell was that? Right? I mean, if you had never heard that before, would that just not blow your mind if you were a guitar player? And then listen to how funky this stuff comes in.
Same old faces and I hear that same old talk, and I'm searching for the latest thing I break in this routine. I'm talking some new kicks, ones like you ain't never seen. This is home. This is Main Street. It's our home, the only one I know. We're sick of these four walls. Now what you think is nothing might be something after all. Now you know this ain't no through street, the end is dead ahead. The poor folks play for keeps down here, they're the living dead. Come on down to Main Street. They're dancing now.
I'm going to back this up because I don't want you to miss this guitar solo. But here's the thing about Eddie. If you will listen, if you're listening in headphones, listen to the rhythm guitar, okay, that he's also playing, that he's playing over here. And because he does not get the credit he deserves as far as a rhythm guitarist too. When you think of Eddie, all you think of these flashy solos, right? But listen to what he's playing. Okay, I'm just back this up just a little bit and listen to this.
Upon a time, it's all over, but the shouting, I come to take what's mine. We're searching for the latest thing, a break in this routine. Talking some new kicks, ones like you ain't never seen. This is home. This is Main Street. It's our home.
Okay, here's the other thing about Van Halen. This is what makes them so great. And if you know what if you understand what I'm saying when I say this, they swing. They've got a swing to them. Even this song, I mean, this isn't like a heavy metal song, but it's a hard song. But it's got a swing to it, man. I mean, it's just got a swing. It's swinging. So it's not, it's just so cool, man. They were just such a great band. Holy cow. All right, let's go. Here's the little bridge here.
This is home. See, a gun is real easy.
Let's do the bass.
In this desperate part of town, turns you from hunted into hunter. You're gonna hunt somebody down. Wait a minute now. Somebody said, fair warning, Lord. Lord, strike that poor boy down.
Ooh, Van Halen. You tell me that's not one of the greatest rock and roll bands of all times. Just tell me. Put it in the comments. If you don't think Van Halen is one of the greatest rock and roll bands of all time, you know, you're wrong. But you can put it down there if you want to. They really... So, thank God I got the pleasure of seeing Van Halen live. With Van Halen, with Sammy Hagar. I've seen them every which way. I didn't see them with... drawing a blank on the guy's name. The guy that was in Extreme with Nuno. Gary Sharon. So I didn't see that version of Van Halen. That's okay. But I did get to see the other versions of Van Halen. I mean, what can you say, really? To me, they're just one of the absolute best bands in the world. If you're feeling down and out, put some Van Halen on. You know, especially the early Van Halen. It'll bring you up. It will absolutely get you up. You know, and some of the really cool things about Van Halen, you know, that I learned was Eddie would tune his guitar to his ear, pretty much. You know, if he would tune it the way he thought it sounded good, and then the rest of the band would tune to him. So I've heard, you know, like engineers or producers talk about how, you know, if you tune to certain notes, it's not exactly going to sound exactly like the album, because Eddie may not have been in perfect tune because he would just tune to the sound that was in his head. I think later on, you know, especially early on, I think later on he probably did tune to an actual guitar tuner. I don't know. But I think that's really cool. You know, and most of their albums they recorded live and did very little overdubbing. You know, obviously when you hear two guitars going, there's overdubbing going on. But, you know, they would jam this stuff out live. They were just that good. But I love Van Halen, and I hope you enjoyed this song. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, just click like down below. And don't forget to follow my channel. I'm going to be putting a lot of videos like this out. And I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe. We'll see you next time here on Riffs and Rides.